Hey everyone, today we're going to crack open a term you hear all the time in tech, CI/CD. Now I know it sounds super technical, but trust me, it's the secret sauce that makes almost every app you love get better, faster, and way more reliable. So let's jump right in.
You know that feeling, right? That little notification pops up to update an app and you kind of hesitate for a second, thinking, oh man, I hope this doesn't break anything. Well, that little bit of anxiety, it's totally understandable, because for a long time, releasing new software was a pretty nerve-wracking process.
So to really get why the new way is so great, we have to look back at the old way. Let's talk about why updates used to feel so, chaotic. Before automation took over, getting new features to you was this really complicated, stressful ordeal, done almost completely by hand.
Now look, this is a really dramatic and tragic example, for sure, but it shows you just how high the stakes can be with software bugs. When every single check and every test relies on a human being, the chance for error is just massive, and the consequences can be, well, as you see, incredibly serious.
And this table really lays it all out, doesn't it? The old manual way was just so prone to mistakes, it was painfully slow, and just unbelievably risky. You had developers spending days, sometimes weeks, just getting ready for one single release. It wasn't just stressful, it was a huge bottleneck that slowed down innovation to a crawl.
So what if you could just get rid of that messy, manual workshop and replace it with a clean, super efficient, fully automated factory? A place where software gets built, tested, and shipped out perfectly, every single time.
Okay, this factory idea is honestly the absolute best way to understand CI/CD. Just picture it. Developers send in their raw materials, that's their code, and on the other side, a finished, polished, perfectly working product comes out, all without a single human having to touch the assembly line.
And you know what? This automated factory, it actually has an official name. It's called a CI/CD pipeline. It's basically a series of automated steps that takes that code from a developer's computer all the way to you, the user. So, what in the world do CI and CD actually stand for?
All right, let's step inside the factory. We're going to check out the first half of the operation, the assembly and quality control line. This part is CI, and it stands for continuous integration. Think about it like this. Imagine a car factory, where you have dozens of engineers all adding different parts to the same car at the same time. Continuous integration is kind of like the master computer system that makes sure that every time somebody bolts on a new part, whether it's a door, an engine, whatever, it fits perfectly with everything else that's already there. So here's the play-by-play. First, a developer submits a new piece of code. Right away, the system automatically builds a new version of the software with that change. Then it runs it through a whole bunch of automated tests. And here's the really crucial part. The developer gets feedback almost instantly, letting them know in just minutes, not weeks, if their change broke something.
And those automated tests? They're like a team of highly specialized robot inspectors. You've got your unit tests, which are like tiny robots checking every single nut and bolt to make sure they're perfect. Then you have integration tests, making sure all the big parts work together, like does the engine actually connect to the wheels? And finally, you have smoke tests, which is like turning the key for the first time just to make sure the whole thing doesn't, go up in smoke.
Okay, so our product has passed every single quality check with flying colors. It's flawless. Now we head over to the second half of our factory, the packaging and shipping department. This is the CD part. Now this is where it gets interesting, because CD can actually mean two slightly different things. Continuous delivery is when the factory automatically boxes up the product, puts it on the loading dock, and just waits for a manager to come by and say, yep, ship it. But continuous deployment, that takes it one step further. The truck just leaves the factory automatically. No final human approval needed at all. It's pretty cool.
So there you have it. You can see the entire journey, from start to finish. It all begins with a developer writing some code. The CI process kicks in, builds it, tests it, then the CD process packages it up and sends it out. The entire system is built to be seamless, super safe, and incredibly fast.
So we've just designed this incredible automated factory in our minds. But the big question is, so what? Why does this actually matter? What's the real payoff for companies, and more importantly, for all of us using the software?
Well, the benefits are just massive, and they really do touch on everything. It's not just about being faster. It's about radically improving the quality of the software, slashing the cost of finding and fixing mistakes, and just making the whole process less of a headache, which, of course, leads to much happier, more creative teams.
At the end of the day, this whole thing is a win-win for literally everyone. For you and me, the users, it means the apps we depend on get better, faster. We see fewer annoying bugs, and we get cool new features way more often. And for the developers, it totally transforms their jobs from these high-stress, risky events into a process focused on what they love to do, being creative and building awesome stuff.
And that really brings us to the big idea I want to leave you with. This isn't just about software. It's about a whole new way of working. When you can automate the hard, repetitive, and risky parts of any job, you free up human beings to do what we do best: solve interesting problems and create amazing new things. So just think, what could you or your team build if that fear of breaking things was completely taken off the table?